So what I might start with saying is I know for many of you, we're in the marketplace, and if you've been in the business for a long time, you will have seen changes, but there's no doubt that we are in many areas and price points, facing conditions that are kind of adverse because we generally act on behalf of the seller. So if it's been tough, that's because we're working against the headwinds. But I would say, and Teresa's given me carte blanche here, so I'm just going to call it right out. Teresa has had cancer, not once, but twice. She's had dramatic changes in her personal life.
Blow it up.
No question. And the market. By the way, I just want to maybe just a little bit of background. I know it's a lengthy interview, but I want to kind of give the context so we can really then understand the conversation, right? She trained real estate agents. First off, she sold, was successful. Then she went and became a trainer. Then she went back and sold again, which I found inspirational, and I've had my own experience doing that. And I think what a wonderful opportunity to put into practice the things that you learn as a trainer. Then she took over managing one of Barfoot & Thompson's branches, and she took it from ranking probably the bottom quarter up into probably at least the top half, maybe even the top quarter of the business. And now she runs top 10 branch at Barfoot & Thompson. So there's such a wealth of experience here to tap into. So Teresa, I'm so pleased to have you here.
I'm scared now.
I guess I think let's start with the tough stuff, because that's what life is, right? What do you do when your world is turned upside down?
I said to David, because he said, can you come along and do a keynote presentation? I said, no, not. I've trained, coached and mentored real estate agents for close to 20 years. I said, but if you actually want to have a real conversation and talk about real life, because actually at the core of it, that's what real estate is. It's not a job. We turn up. It's a lifestyle. It's part of who we are. And for me, it's about energy. Everything is around energy. So one of the biggest things I've learned in training, coaching and mentoring real estate agents, everybody's waiting to get motivated to take action. And it's like, with no disrespect, I was thinking about this morning. If you want to be successful in real estate, go and get coaching. Hello, gorgeous, how are you? Go to every conference, go and get Tom Panos, go and get Josh Fegan. There's so many things out there telling you how to do real estate, and it's available to all of you, all of us. And yet only some people will go and do it. Other people will go and look at it, will do half of it. Other people will look at it. A very small margin of people will actually go and take it and go, right, I'm going to get out of my own head, I'm going to stop questioning it, and I'm just going to do exactly what this process tells me to do. Very small percentage of people. And so that's the biggest thing that I've learned over my years, this year in particular. It's actually about getting out of your head, and in tough times we get in our head and we overthink. And that's what I see in real estate. That's what I see in my team. It's what I see with other people. We overthink it to the point that we actually get in our own way of being successful. So, you just want me to keep rolling?
Teresa, this is your show. But I'm really interested because you mentioned that, and I've already alluded to this, there's lots of good ideas today. There's plenty of places to get ideas and you'll have your own. But how do you actually have the energy to implement them, particularly if you have had a rough time, if things have not gone your way? If we often work on confidence. Our energy's great when things are going our way, and when they're not, how do you put on the brave face? How do you change your energy?
Well, I was really lucky that in my first couple of years of training in real estate, there was this gentleman called Brian Tracy, and he did a 2-day peak performance course. And because I was training, and you've already alluded to it, I would then go out and train real estate agents how to get peak performance, change your mindset, cultivate a growth mindset. And so it was the first time in my life, and that was my late 20s, that I actually understood that you can rewire and reprogram your brain. And so I've taken that. I haven't always been as disciplined with it, but I've taken that, and it's definitely changed my dynamic around now. I don't wait to get motivated for something, because I know if I act, the motivation will come. I've spent years now on goal setting, affirmations, visualisation, trying to get out of my own way. Even this morning when I woke up, and I'm going to talk to you about energy, I was thinking, I really don't feel like it today. So I'm waving my arms around, changing the energy around me. I'm feeling a little bit of fear. And I have this little mantra now, I'm like, get in behind. I'm not taking that on. That fear or anything else, just just goes away. And it's the same thing, with us when we're going for listing presentations. We change our energy. Whereas when you actually step into a room and your energy, and you own who you are and you're powerful, people can't not be attracted to that. But I've learnt it's a routine. So I hit 50 a year and a half ago.
Woo.
And I went, if I'm lucky enough to have done the first half...
By the way, 3 days before, I think she had a cancer diagnosis and she decided to go tits out for Teresa for 51.
So that was after that. David was invited, so I had my second...
Just saying.
So I had a double mastectomy in March this year, and it was 3 days before my 51st birthday, and I went, right, what am I going to do? So I'm sitting in hospital thinking, I'm not going to have a party this year, and then I thought, bugger that, let's celebrate. So I phoned one of my best friends and said to Jeff, who's got this beautiful home in Peacock Street in Glendowie, honey, could you just throw me a little soiree? There'll only be about 10 of us. And he said, sure, gorgeous, what should we call it? I said, let's call it a tits up for tea. So we did, and so I'm there with all my drains connected and drinking champagne with my best friends, of which David was, and celebrating a brilliant year. So as far as the tough times go, I decided to blow up my life, and then had a couple of other compounding health things. But do you know, the biggest thing that I have looked at in the last 12 months, it's been some of the most challenging of my life, but God, I'm grateful for the most beautiful gift of growth. Wow. And so, cancer and stuff, everyone goes through tough times. Everyone goes through that. I'm really fortunate that I look at it and go, what a beautiful gift that I've been given to remind myself that we only have today. Do you know, not everyone gets that gift. And I got it twice. And so now I'm like, you've got two options in life when there's adversity that happens to you. And this is something that I really program into me. It either chooses to use you and you let it, or you choose to use it. And so when I get adversity that happens, I go, I'm going to take this, I won't swear, I normally would, and I'm going to turn it around, I'm going to flip it. And so I'm going to use it. And it's no different to the real estate market in the last 2 years. It's been tough. How do you flip it? How do you use it? And so I think, I hear a lot in my team, oh, it's really hard at the moment. If you're saying it's hard, it's going to be hard. Instead of going, hey, it's a hard market, what can I do to thrive? What can I do to set myself up to come out the other side? We're away. So this is what I do in the mornings. I get up at 5. I hate getting up at 5. Don't think I do it because I like it. I do it because I understand if I get my mindset right, then I'm okay for the day. And I've got 2 of my team here who have been with me a year. And one of the big things that I've learnt with training, coaching and managing people, and I'm just going to pivot here, I'll come back to my routine, is that when you're starting in real estate now, there's no point me teaching you the skills alone. There's no point me training you on all of the knowledge. I have to get you to fundamentally change your belief system on what you believe you're worth. If I can't get you doing your affirmations, if I can't get you doing visualisation, if I can't get you to a point where when you don't feel like acting, you'll take action anyway, there's no point me teaching you the skills in real estate. So that's what I do with my new people now. It's about how do we fundamentally change your belief system so that you can get out of your own way and go out and be successful. And the biggest compliment or the biggest heart connection for me as a manager is when one of my team says to me, Teresa, you just do not know the impact you've had on my life. So that's what gets me buzzed as a manager. That's why I come back to getting up at 5 a.m. in the morning. When I get up at 5, at 50 I realised I'm going to have to be strong, so I get up and I do my weights. And I get up and I do my leg exercises, and I don't love either, so please don't think I'm one of these people that get into it and it's like gym at 5. I'm not. Never will be, but I know I have to do it for my own strength. And then I meditate. And when I meditate, I normally do a guided meditation, and it's all about affirmations, it's all about positive mindset, it's about creating an abundance mindset. I invite abundance into my life in every area, and I make sure that I'm getting out of my own head. And then I go to the mirror and I go, I love you, T, I love you, T, I love you, T, I love you, T, I love you, T. You own the table. You've got this. And then I get up 50% of the time now to a 12-year-old who doesn't want to get out of bed. And so this morning, and because this is practical life, this morning I'm like, what am I going to do? It's 10 o'clock and he's not up. How am I going to get him to school? And if anyone's got teenagers, if you try and argue with a teenager, it just flips. So I thought I'm just going to have to roll with it. So I wanted to get here earlier, but I didn't. But we got here in the end. We went through that process. So I do the mental setup, then I go and do real life, and then I hop in the car. And I don't know what you guys do in your car on the way to work, but since I hit 50, I hop into the car and I have on a power songs list. And it starts with This Is Me, followed by Let It Go, followed by
Yes, that
Fight
is from
Song.
Frozen.
That's it, from Frozen. And that is my mantra in real estate, let it go. It is in life now, let it go. And I heard you talking about it earlier. And then I've got some other ones. And so I car dance and yell at the top of my lungs all the way to work because it changes my energy. And so when I get to the intersection before I get to the office, I turn it all down, I go and park in the office, and then when I walk in, hopefully, I'm calm and I bring an energy. I don't always get it right, but that's my job, is to actually be the magic I want in my life and to be the magic when I show up at work so that it gives other people permission to just let stuff go. Because that's how we become successful in real estate. And that's what I love about the Nike ad. It doesn't say think about doing it. It doesn't say come up with an action plan to do it. It says just do it. And I don't think there's any excuse anymore. There is so much on social. It's another thing I do. All my social media is all positive, uplifting self-development. It's crazy girls dancing around how amazing women are these days. It's, everything in there is about pumping me up. So I choose in my life to try and pump myself up, surround myself with only incredible positive people, and let shit go. That's it.
Yeah. A consistent theme that I've heard you talk about as we've been going here is doing it even if you don't feel like it.
Yep.
Practically, like when the alarm rings at 5 o'clock and you're feeling tired, what's the process?
Get up, don't think about it. You have to, because you make a decision today, how are you going to feel today? And if you don't get up at 5 and you sleep till 6, you actually feel worse when you get up at 6. And then you carry that energy into the day. Believe me, I have my bad days. Let's just be really real about that. Everybody does. And if you're in real estate sales and you're having a bad day, switch off. Spend that day investing back into you to get your energy right so that you turn up the next day and you're on fire.
Yeah, love it. I'm really interested. Hands up, who here is leading a team? There's a good portion here. I think let's go here because I think Teresa's an amazing coach, obviously a wonderful human being, but she's a great leader in the team as well. Talk us through the transformations of the offices that you've been in and what the things that you do with your people.
God, it's really hard when you have some of your team sitting in the room. I said, I'm going to have to be really honest and truthful. Well, I think one of the things I do as a leader, and I'm just going to put my leader's hat on here, is I delegate. So I have an incredible sales concierge. Her name is Shani, and I'm not a detail person. I don't want to get bogged down in the paperwork. I do most of my work outside of the office, and I also take Fridays I work from home because that's where I get the work on the business and the work on me. So I make sure I've got pockets outside of the office where I'm doing things. If I'm in the office, I'm available. That's why I'm there. But I delegate anything that's detail orientated. And what I love about Shani, A, she's incredible, but B, she sits up with the sales team. And she is there as another layer of anything that's system related, anything that's advertising related, detail related. She does all of our option documents, etc. She's across it, so the team can ask her. I'm always available on the phone, I'm always available on text, I'm always available on email. But my job, I feel like my job, is to offer knowledge, answer questions, keep people focused on what the basics are, not to get too convoluted or too complex, to help people solve their own problems. As leaders, the amount of times that I'm going to say it, salespeople, the amount of times you ring us rather than going and finding the information, which is so easy for you to find, if you ring us, you're actually not learning. So it's just helping people to grow. But one of the biggest things I do is I always just try and get people to remember it's a numbers game. If you're not running your numbers and you're not following people up, it doesn't matter what else you know, it's useless. So right now we're under 3 months to Christmas. We've got about 8 weeks left in the selling season. If people are going to finish at the beginning of December, all I talk to my team about right now is ABC your existing listings so that we can get flow through on those. Fire the vendors you need firing that are taking all of your energy, delegate them to the competition so that you can free up your time. And then what are you going to do to make sure you've got stock that's coming on in the next 10 weeks that's going to sell so it's not sitting around over Christmas? And then where are your 2 best listings coming from to start the new year with? That's all we talk about. And let stuff go. If you're not busy, you get caught up on what you lost or what wasn't happening for you or what happened with a team member dynamic. If you're busy, none of that stuff matters. You're just moving on to the next thing. So I want my team busy on doing dollar productive stuff because then they're going to get out of their own way.
Love it. Now, I'm just going to give you a moment because I am going to open this up. Like Teresa said, there's no question you can't ask her. That's scary, but that's the permission I've been given, and I think let's go there. So I'm going to give you a little moment to think about that. The other thing I would say is that, over the course of a career that's been focused around helping people achieve in real estate, you will have seen the things that you constantly must have felt frustrated, like, why aren't they doing it? Or that's a no-brainer. Or if I could quickly on the back of a postcard say, here's the recipe to success, how would you sum that up for someone in real estate?
Well, I think everyone's got access to the recipe for success. Real estate is a process. That's all it is. And we are in a world now where you can go and access that process from anywhere. Go into ChatGPT and you'll have a real estate business plan in 10 minutes. If you follow that, you're away. There's scripts and dialogues everywhere. There is no excuse for you not to be able to, within a day, find out exactly what you need to do in real estate and start going out and running the numbers and getting a follow-up system in place. The only thing that happens is you get in your head and you start doubting yourself, you start driving around the block instead of getting out and door knocking because you don't know where you're going to start, you don't know what you're going to say. We get in our own way. So, and I can't remember the end of the question there, but the difference is actually investing in you to get out of your own way, unblock yourself from allowing yourself to be successful.
I've got to say also that I've done a series of interviews and had feedback on all of them. The one that I've had the most people say, wow, that was really incredible. I got so much out of that. It's available for free. It's on Facebook. If you search Teresa Weiss and David Palfreman, it's long. It's got a lot of detail. It's got the actual words and dialogues that she used to go when she went back and sold the second time round. If you are newer in the business and you're not quite sure what to do or say, I encourage you to watch the interview. I'm going to open it up here. What have we got? James.
Hey, Teresa, I'm in the same walk as you.
I'm going to paraphrase this back for those who can't hear. Go, James.
And so I'm thinking I've got 10 years of energy from 60 and I have to think about retirement, hopefully.
10 years, he's told us his age, he's 10 years from 60. He's got to think about retirement.
He's still younger than me.
Just. So if you could wind back 5 years, what would you do differently to now?
Wow.
You had a second chance to save time, to be more efficient, what would you do?
It's an interesting question for me because I had blown up my entire life this year. So I'm going through a whole stage of redoing that. And one of the reasons I did it is because I went, I should have done all of this 5-10 years ago. So for me, I put that into a number of things with real estate. Keep it simple, keep it basic, get your follow-up right, nurture the existing clients you've got because they're going to create revenue. I would be getting a team around me so that I can take holidays, so that I can take time off. The problem that you've got when you're in real estate and you're a salesperson, you have to show up every day. You are dependent on you. So if you can find a way to take yourself out of the business a bit, just so that you can actually get balance in your life, because life is about more than just working, that would probably be my advice. Create great investments. Take chances, but build a team around you so that you can get out there and actually live your life.
Thank you. I was thinking that, but you've just...
One more.
Don't be shy.
Help me out. So me and my business partner, Todd Murray, our mentor, decided to go to Australia. So Papa Aaron Davis is gone, right? So if we get into trouble, we are alone. And then we had a bit of a conversation going, we will have to step up and become the new mentors for people like us. So how do you go to the transaction? Because I'm Peter Pan, I'm forever younger, right? Yes, I'm a good agent and all of that, but now I'm going to have to become mentor for people like myself because my mentor is gone. So how do you transact from, you know, have someone that can help you all of the time to not, and you being the one that have to help other people?
Do you have a business coach? Yeah. Okay. So for me, I always go to a business coach. Reality is the jobs that we're in, we're always going to mentor and coach people because it's part of who we are as people, because we want to grow people. And I think that, you know, that's one of the reasons we're doing what we're doing. But Diogo, you know, for us as a business owner or operator, it's all about the people that you've got around you. So for me, I would be looking at, I would bring a business coach into my business, make it available for my team. I'd be saying, you need to have some skin in the game. I'm going to have this person professionally available for you, but you're going to have to invest in it as well so that we can see that you're actually really committed. But it's just, I would be layering programs in to make sure that there's mentoring, but there's also accountability, because it's not just the mentoring you're talking about, it's actually the follow-through. So it's accountability at a different layer. Take yourself away, pay somebody else to go and do it, and if they do it well, as you know as a business owner, you'll reap the rewards because you'll not only cover their cost back, but it'll increase revenue.
Outstanding. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking Teresa Weiss.